What is going on, Bulls and Bears? We are back with your daily dose of economic reality, aka another dose of economic reality. Thank you for being here. Things are continuing to unfold, to unwind, to fall apart, just like we predicted. As the middle class, the working class, small businesses continue to get further behind, and we're seeing major signs of stress and financial hardship throughout the U.S. economy. Now, this is global, but today we're going to talk about some very specific things happening here in the United States, which signal things are looking bad and about to get a lot worse. And we've been correct about this. Things are going to continue to get worse when it comes to the debt, when it comes to people getting behind on their payments, their car payment, their housing payment, rents, mortgage payment, you name it. Let's talk about the latest news here. 20 million people cannot pay their utility bill. I'm serious. Let's take a look at this article. And this is a crisis, and it's not me saying that. This is Bloomberg. This is the national news reporting this. A tsunami of shutoffs. 20 million in U.S. homes are behind on energy bills. Surging electricity bills spur the worst ever crisis in late utility payments. Wait a minute. This doesn't make sense. I thought unemployment was near record lows. Why? Why are so many people late on their bills? People are not keeping up on their bills. But this is an economic recovery, right? What kind of recovery is this? Unemployment near 50-year low. Why can't people afford this? We all know why. This is the Inflation Creation Act. I'm sorry, the Inflation Reduction Act was supposed to fix this. Inflation Creation Act. I don't think it's the act yet. It's too soon to really see how that act is going to affect things. But guess what? I don't think it's going to make prices come down for utilities, for rents, for the cost of living as a whole. Please let me know what you think down in the comments. I think we're all on the same page here. Now, this article goes on to give a few examples of people that had their AC and their electricity as a whole shut off. And they talk about Minneapolis, Minnesota, where there was a tremendous heat wave, and this parent had a scorching hot house. And you could think of millions of other people probably going through something similar. And what's going to happen this winter if these people cannot pay their utility bills? That could be even more dangerous than what we're seeing as far as the heat wave goes. When people are without heat, when they're out with AC, that's bad. You can go to the shade, you can drink some ice water. It's pretty inconvenient. But when you don't have heat in sub-zero temperatures, that's a whole new level of danger and hardship. 20 million people currently behind. Is it going to get better, or is it going to get worse? Will the Inflation Reduction Act come in and fix all this? Please let me know what you think down in the comments. Most of you know what I think. I think things are going to continue to get worse. Right? So we've got the stock market. It actually recovered from the big sell-off that started at the beginning of the year. That's not helping people, is it? Otherwise, this wouldn't be the worst that we've seen. We've never seen this many people not able to pay their utility bills. So what is happening with this economy, with people's finances? All right, people are getting wiped out. It's not just the individuals and the households. It's also small business. We're going to talk about that here in just a few minutes. But personal story here in San Diego, we have some of the highest utility bills, SDG&E, San Diego Gas and Electric, going up on their rates. It's been pretty consistent rate hikes. And where does it end? Now, a lot of San Diego County, especially if you're on the coast, you really don't have to run the AC that much, especially if you're within like 5 miles of the coast. If you're inland a little bit, or if you're behind the big mountain range, what we call the valley, then it's going to be much hotter. It only takes like a 15 to 20 mile drive. It only takes about a 15 to 20 minute drive inland here in San Diego before you start seeing the temperature gauge go by up almost like 20 degrees. Literally, you could be driving from the coast, and 15 to 20 miles inland, like 20 minutes later, you see about a 20 degree increase in the temperature. It's pretty crazy. So we run our AC as little as possible, but it's definitely a must. And where I'm at anyway, it's a must during the summer months. So what do people do? It's either pay or suffer. And people are maxing out their credit cards, or getting closer to the maxing and getting close. We see credit card debt exploding at the pace we've never seen before. We've never seen this many people get into so much debt this quickly. We're at all-time high levels of debt. That's one part, but the scarier part of it, we're not just at all-time high levels of debt. People are continuing to take on more debt at a record pace. You see what I'm saying? So the increase in the amount of debt, it's not just higher, it's all-time high, but it's increasing faster than we've ever seen. So credit card companies are going to have to continue to increase the debt ceiling. But what happens when people can't make their minimum payment? We're approaching that time, folks. We're approaching that time where people are not going to be able to make the minimum payment. A lot of people are already there, but I'm talking about a crisis where you see 10, 20, 30, who knows, 50 million people not able to meet their minimum credit card payment. Absolute disaster in the making. Let's talk about the next story. Next, another case that we warned all of you about many months ago. In fact, over a year ago. Small businesses continue to get wiped out, and now we're seeing a lot of small businesses not able to pay their rent. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Let's take a look at this next report. And folks, this is an absolute nightmare. I did a report, was it last week, where I showed you one of my favorite food places had shut down. And it was a place that cost a little bit more, but they had healthier choices as far as food. A small business, not a big nationwide chain. And those are the businesses that I'm seeing here go out of business most often. In fact, compared to the national chains, we're seeing about 20, 30 to 1 the number of small businesses closed down as far as the national chains branch closures, right? So, of course, a lot of the national chains are not going out of business completely. They have to close some locations. But we're seeing way more, from what I see, about 10 to 20 to 30 times more small businesses going under compared to nationwide chains and locations. Value Walk article, rent problems escalate small business owners 40%. Unbelievable. 40% cannot pay their rent as of the most recent month. Let's take a look at a chart. This is turning into an absolute nightmare. 40%. Now, some higher, even seeing a worse scenario than the 40%. Agriculture. We know what's happening with the cost of fertilizer, with the conflict happening, and all the shipping problems, the supply chains. Agricultural, 50% small businesses agriculture. Nonprofits, restaurants, 46%. Automotive, 44%. Education, 44%. Travel, lodging, 44%. Gyms, 43%. Transportation, 41%. Construction, 40%. Real estate, 40%. Retail, 40%. Every sector, every industry is taking a hit right now as far as small businesses go. And as consumers move closer and closer and closer to being maxed out, this situation, folks, is just going to get worse. Will we need some massive debt forgiveness, not just the small student loan debt forgiveness, but some sort of massive reset in people's finances, a major wipeout of all debt? That's what's only thing that's going to help, and it's not a long-term solution, because as soon as you do that, as soon as you wipe out all debt, the prices are just going to go higher, because when people get their debt erased, what are they going to do? They're going to go out and spend, and they're going to run up their credit cards again, and they're going to go ahead and buy all the things that they couldn't buy before when they had the debt. All right, so that's going to make inflation worse if that happens. All right, so maybe the small forgiveness that we saw here recently that's being discussed is not going to make a big difference. I think it's going to make the cost of education go higher. But we have a problem on our hand here, folks. I hope all of you are doing well at this time. I'd really like to hear your thoughts down in comments. I do read your comments, and I actually learn from your comments. I've actually used articles that some of you have put down in comments, and I've actually mentioned some of your stories that you have shared with me down in comments. So thank you very much for being here. I hope all of you are well. I hope all of your I hope your businesses that you like to visit, your small businesses, are not going under. But get ready, because some of your favorite businesses may be struggling. It's 40% and 50% in some cases in some sectors. Absolute nightmare continues to unfold. Hope everybody's bracing for what's ahead. Keep stacking, folks. Be well. Bye for now.